Irene Walker's powerful comeback. From 600 pounds to a life reclaimed 2025 update. When Irene Walker first appeared on Season 9 of TLC's My 600 OB Life, she was a woman cloaked in pain, trauma, and over 600 pounds of physical weight. But the real burden she carried went far beyond the scale, a heavy legacy of childhood abuse, addiction, and loss that shaped every part of her being. Yet today, in 2025, Irene's story stands as a testament to the strength of the human spirit, the will to change, to reclaim one's dignity, and to rewrite a future that once felt irredeemable. A life at the edge, Irene's descent into food and isolation. At her heaviest, Irene tipped the scales at 603 pounds. Every movement was a struggle. Every day was a battlefield. Basic things, walking, cleaning, dressing, became group efforts. My size has made everyday life so harsh, she confessed tearfully during her debut episode. I lean on my family and friends just to get by, but food had long been her solace. The emotional wounds of abuse led her down a path of self-soothing with food. By 24, she was nearing 500 pounds. Drugs followed. Then came one of her darkest lows, losing custody of her children. The trauma compounded. The addiction deepened. The pounds piled on. Dr. Now and a second chance. When Irene met renowned bariatric surgeon Dr. Nozeridan, she wasn't just seeking surgery. She was reaching for a lifeline. He gave her a strict target: lose 60 pounds in 2 months. She lost only 5. For the next few months, progress was slow. Then the pandemic hit, forcing her into isolation for 7 months. But instead of letting it crush her, Irene found resolve in the silence. The pause became a pivot. She started hitting the gym. Joined by a friend, she committed fully and shed 60 pounds in just 2 months. The number on the scale dropped to 535, and with it came Dr. Now's approval for surgery. Victory in inches. Irene's quiet transformation. What followed was not a miracle, but 1,000 small, grueling victories. Behind the scenes, Irene returned to school at Houston Community College, finishing what she was once forced to abandon. By 2021, her eyes weren't just on the scale. They were on her financial future. She dreamed of running her own business, and in 2023, she began selling puppies via Instagram. It was a modest venture, but it was hers. She also celebrated 1 full year of sobriety in October 2023, a deeply personal triumph that meant more than any number ever could. Family, healing, and finding herself again. Throughout it all, Irene's family remained her lifeline. Her eldest son, Ja'Cory, and her niece, Mimi, became her anchors, walking with her, cooking with her, and simply sitting beside her when the pain was too much. Irene often credited Mimi as the heart of her healing. Now, her once fractured family is being knit back together. She's rekindled strong relationships with all 5 of her children. Her Facebook is filled with proud mother moments, graduation pictures, birthday celebrations, and love. For Irene, the goal was always more than just weight loss. It was being a mother again, a present, whole, and healing one. I support all my kids, she wrote in a post, but I've got to give love to my girl Mimi too. She never let me fall. The surgery, the show, and the real Irene. On April 9th, 2025, TLC aired a powerful follow-up episode of My 600 OB Life. Where are they now? And it gave the world a long-awaited update. By that point, Irene had dropped down to 494 pounds, marking the first time in years she'd seen anything under 500. Her gastric sleeve surgery finally happened, and it went well. Cameras captured her post-op life, walking with more ease, cooking lighter meals, laughing more freely. The show chronicled not just a body's change, but a soul's rebirth. She didn't flaunt numbers on social media. Full-body photos remain rare, but her selfies, glowing skin, sparkling eyes, and wide smiles said enough. Irene wasn't hiding anymore. She was protecting her peace. Where is Irene Walker now in 2025? Today, Irene lives in Houston, Texas, and while her online presence has slowed since September 2024, those close to her say she's staying the course. She remains sober, focused, and deeply rooted in family. Her business continues quietly in the background, and she's said to be exploring new ventures. There's talk that she's actively working toward regaining full custody of her younger children, a goal she's been fighting for since the beginning. And as for romance, Irene finally cleared up fan confusion. She's single, and for now, completely focused on self-love, healing, and growth. The woman who refused to disappear. Irene Walker's story is more than a weight loss transformation. It's a blueprint for redemption, for resilience. For anyone who's ever felt broken and buried under trauma, addiction, or the consequences of bad choices, her journey whispers, it's never too late to come back. She may have once weighed 600 pounds, but that number never defined her. What defines Irene is what she carried through fire and who she's becoming on the other side. And she's not done yet. Shakyia Jackson, the woman who refused to be broken. When Shakyia Jackson first appeared on My 600 LB Life, she weighed in at a harrowing 655 pounds. But her story was heavier than any number on a scale. Behind her physical struggle was a haunting past, one marked by deep wounds, betrayal, and unimaginable pain. Shakyia wasn't just fighting for weight loss. She was fighting for her life, for her freedom, for her future, the weight of her past. Before the cameras rolled, before Dr. Now's stern yet concerned face entered the frame, Shakyia had already lived through storms that would crush most. She had survived neglect, foster care, the unspeakable trauma of xual abuse. Scars that don't show on skin but weigh down the soul. Food became her escape, her shield, her constant companion in a world that had given her so little comfort. But that comfort came at a cost: morbid obesity, crushing health issues like asthma and lymphedema, and a life shrinking smaller by the day. A fragile start with Doctor. Now, when Shakyia met Dr. Nozaridan, he immediately recognized the depth of her emotional and physical condition. Unlike many others on the show, Shakyia wasn't given an aggressive target, just 50 pounds. That's all she had to lose to qualify for weight loss surgery. But life doesn't always cooperate. She managed to shed only 21 pounds. Not enough. Soon after, she was rushed to the ER with respiratory failure. Her future, once again, hung in the balance. For a moment, it looked like her journey might end there. But Shakyia Jackson wasn't done writing her story. Surgery, strength, and a new beginning. Though she parted ways with Dr. Now under uncertain circumstances, Shakyia reemerged months later with fire in her eyes and a surgery schedule in hand. Who can't get the surgery eyes? Okay, that's what I thought, she teased on social media, a sly smile peeking through years of pain. While she hasn't confirmed the exact nature of the procedure, fans believe it was the long-awaited weight loss surgery. Regardless, it marked a turning point,